Welcome, I'm TW. Did Jesus become God while living in the flesh? This is a question. Did he become God while living in the flesh? This is what it said in John 10, verse 30. I and my Father are one. When you're the same with anything, there's no different. I and my Father are one. That's what's been said. There's no difference between God and Jesus when he was saying that. And here is John 14, verse 9, 10. He that had seen me had seen my Father. There is no different there. None whatsoever. If you see me, you see my Father. I represent my Father. And it goes on to say, I am in the Father and the Father in me. Is there any separation? Is there any doubt there in those lines when he's saying that? I don't see the doubt when you're saying, I am in the Father and the Father is in me. There is no doubt in those words. He's speaking from a place where he knows exactly who his Father is, and he knows who he is when he's saying these words. There's no doubt within his mind when those words are coming out of his mouth. For him to be saying these things, he have been to that fountain. He have seen what that fountain is, and he become that fountain. He become that life. He have went deep within himself, and he see what he is, and he see what is there in the universe. He see the underlying force that going through the universe. You see the underlying force that is creating all that exists. You see the creative process within himself. When a thought comes in and the process it go through to get into existence, and you see that same process playing out in the universe and in the world around him and in everything around him. And he come to the conclusion that this force, this power that the universe itself is built on, this energy that the universe itself is running on, that everything in the universe, included him, and everything, the plants, the tree, the animal, the water, the sunshine, the stars, the planets, every single thing is coming from this source. And he realized that he and this source is one. And with that realization, that's why he can speak from this place and say, I and my Father are one. And saying, if you see me, you have seen the Father. I am in my Father, and my Father is in me. That's why he can say this, because he have been to the natural state where everything is nothing, where things does not exist. You have been to that place where things does not exist in a physical form, but in a spiritual form is filled with life. And you yourself can enter into this place. The doorway to enter this place is through yourself. It's getting to know yourself. And once you get to know yourself, then in that process of knowing yourself, you gain the knowledge, you gain the wisdom of seeing what Jesus see and speaking of these things like this. Because anybody who get to this space and see these things and see the underlying force and recognizing that it's the same force that's in the universe moving things around and taking care of business, is the same force that's moving through you, then what choice do they have? They have no choice. They cannot deny that power anymore. So they have no choice but to say, that is my creator. That is my father. That they and this thing are one. There's no choice but to utter those words, because that's the reality they come to see and come to know. But to get to this place, as I say, you got to go through yourself and know yourself and get to this place where you can see all the movements within you and see all the movements within the universe itself. And then you can speak like JC did. And here's what he said in John 17:21-22. He was talking about his people here, that all of them may be one. All of them may be one, even as we are one. So when he's talking about even as we are one, he's talking about himself and God, because he is one with God. So there is no doubt that he, while living in the flesh, become deified, become a God, because he's been and he have seen and he know exactly who God is. I know there is this conversation saying that Jesus did not say he's God, but indirectly what he's saying here, that I and my Father are one, isn't that what it is? And when he's saying, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father, and the Father is in me and I'm in the Father. And here he's saying, even as we are one, the same thing. And even in John 8:58, he said, before Abraham was, I am. Now, look at that closely. Before Abraham was, I am. He is saying he exists before Abraham. And this means that he, as I said before, he have come to realize that he is a part of the force, of the source, of the power, of the energy that exists for eternity and will exist until eternity. This force have no beginning and this force have no end. That's what He knows, and that's what he's looking at. And that's why he's saying what he's saying. And here in John 5 verse 19, he said, the Son cannot do nothing of himself, but what he see the Father do. I mean, the Father is moving through. If there's any confusion in this, just meditate upon these verses and you will see with clarity. But to get to the place where JC is speaking from, where JC is looking at all these things, when I say JC, I mean Jesus Christ. To get to this place where he's looking over all these things and seeing the movement in creation and seeing the creative process within himself. To get to this place, you got to go through yourself. You got to know yourself. And in the process of knowing yourself, you're gaining the knowledge, you're gaining the wisdom. Look, if you don't spend time with anything at all, you don't get to know it. You got to spend time to learn to ride a bike, to learn to drive. And if you don't spend time with yourself and go deep within yourself, then you can't know exactly what you are and who you are. So spend some time deep within yourself. Not on the exterior, within, deep within the mind. Right in the center of your system, right to the foundation of your system where everything rise up in you from a thought, through the thinking process, through into existence. Get into that space. Know that space. And see what's real within that space. And see the real part of you that exists. And then you can see the real part that exists in the rest of the universe. And that real part is the foundation, is the creator of the universe. We call it God, but there's thousands of names right across the globe. Different generation give this power different name. But you know it as God. But different people know it as something else. Listen, blessing be with you always. Remember to bring some clarity and awareness into your creative space. 10 to 12 deep breaths can get you started. Peace. See you on the other side.